Hey folks, my name's Sheldon. Today we're going to be working on a horse named Pinto Bean. A lot of you guys are familiar with Pinto Bean. For those that are new around here, this is a picture of what his foot used to look like. That picture right there was from about a year ago, and I'm pretty happy with the progress we made since the last time I put shoes on him about 6 weeks ago. So stick around, and as I go through shoeing him today, I'll explain what I'm doing and explain the different modifications I'm doing to the shoe to make it specifically for Pinto Bean. I hope you guys don't mind the wind chimes you guys can hear. The owners were nice enough today. It's pretty nasty weather. It's pretty windy and cold out. And they pulled their car out of their garage and were actually shoeing Pinto Bean in their garage. And so unfortunately there was some wind chimes I didn't notice, but the audio picked that up, and so hopefully that doesn't annoy you guys. Okay, and for you guys that are just tuning in that haven't seen me shoe Pinto Bean before, we've been following him along as he's been making progress. Every time I go out and shoe him, I video it and make a video for you guys. And we put together a playlist over at on my channel. So go over to the channel, hit playlist, and you can go through the videos. They're all in order there and see the progress he's made. You can see right there where I'm digging. He must have had a stick or something out in his pasture, poked him right there and put a little hole. And you can see it's black, so some bacteria got in there and was kind of festering, probably some thrush. Anyway, and so what you do in a situation like that is just make it to where moisture and dirt and stuff and bacteria can't get harbored in there. So right there, I'm trying to open it up, and so things can't get trapped in there. Luckily, it didn't penetrate very far, but poor Pinto Bean can't catch a break. That's not even the main problem with his foot. And I don't know, must have been a little piece of metal or rock or stick or something poked a hole right there. But anyway, it's obviously not causing him any problems, but it could, and so that's why I open up the hole there. I'll be quiet here while I finish up the trim and until something else important comes up, and I'll pipe in and let you know what I'm doing.
Sure, if you want to.
So I started Pinto Bean off on that short hoof stand, but he wasn't having it, so I moved him to the big one. And that's kind of the nice part about having a couple different settings, 2 different settings on your hoof stand, is some big horses like the small setting and some small horses like the big setting better. And he was a small horse, so I just assumed he'd like the small setting, but he did a lot better with it up on the taller setting. So what I'm doing here is just taking off all the flares. I collected up the foot from the bottom and then just finished taking the flares from the top. And he's got a little spot here in the front. You can see that black line I'm messing with right there. So it's just all that scar tissue. There's some bacteria, probably the same kind of bacteria that was in that earlier hole, and you can see there's moisture in there with that black stuff, and that's not good because that's just a track where that bacteria can hang out. And so that front part's kind of loose there, so I just go ahead and clip it off like you can see. And then I'm going to pull it forward here and dig it all out with my knife and get all that, because if you just let that bacteria in there, it'll just keep cracking and creeping up in there. And so I got to kind of debride all that. Usually you wouldn't want to mess with this and just let it grow out, but because that bacteria has found a little spot right there, you got to get all that out of there so it doesn't keep creeping up the toe. And that actually happened about 9-8 months ago. He'd had the previous surgery about 9 or 8 months before that, and then time had gone by and it was grown out to about this point, and then he started having a bunch of pus start draining out of the pocket, and anyway, something got up in there, bacteria. I'm not so sure, and the vets weren't sure, but they opened it back up, debrided it again, and now we're growing it out to this point. And so I ended up cleaning it up, and that track didn't go very far, which was good. I was able to clean it up to clean hoof tissue, and so I think we'll be good to go. The black you can see to the left and right of the hole looks like it could be concerning, but that's just from the nails, so that's not nothing to worry about. If I had to guess, I'd say it's the iron leaching out of the nails into the hoof wall, but that's just my uneducated guess. So I'm putting a little more pointier of a toe than what this shoe comes with. Pinto Bean has a little more pointier of a toe. So right here I'm just kind of putting the initial shape into the shoe, which in reality, looking back and watching my own video, it's probably kind of a waste of time, because all these other modifications that I do, you kind of wreck your shape anyway, and so I probably should have waited till the very end till I had all my modifications in there, but because I end up changing my shape anyway, but you live and you learn, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and pull clips on it, pull quarter clips, and those quarter clips will be on each side of the hole and just stabilize the hoof wall from that little bit of hoof that's missing. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to be making a medial support shoe, and I'm running my fuller right there, and I'm actually making that inner web of the shoe wider. And so what that does is he's putting too much weight on that inside, and it's jamming up his medial heel. And so what I'm trying to do is get to shift the weight to the other side of the foot and get him to be bearing weight evenly on his foot. And then here I'm going to put a rocker toe on it, just because that his toe on this foot is longer than his other foot, because all that lamina is stretched out, and there's still scar tissue up in there that's all trying to heal and get back to normal. And so I'm going to put a rocker toe on there to take the stress off that lamina so it can continue to heal without having a bunch of stress on it. And then this right here, I'm putting some boxing on that medial heel, the one that I put that fuller in, and that's also going to widen up that medial branch of the shoe, which will help shift the weight over, and also it'll make it to where he doesn't step his shoe off. So you saw me measure the foot a second ago, and then I'll go ahead and measure the shoe right here. It'll let me know if I'm close to the right shape. That's something a good farrier friend of mine showed me not very long ago, and it's been a big game changer in hot fitting feet. So there's a tip for you farriers: if you're having trouble getting the right size, measure your foot and then measure your shoe and you're shaping it, and it'll get you pretty close. You might cut down a couple trips back and forth to the horse. So you saw me put that rocker toe in, so here I got to rasp in that rocker toe into the foot, and then I'll burn it in, and we'll get a perfect union between the shoe and the foot. So you can see those red spots kind of right there where I'm cutting. That's from the old nail holes. Remember that. I'll bring it up here in a second and show you what I'm going to try to do different so that doesn't happen this next time. Okay, now that I got that done, let's talk about those bruises on the bottom of the foot. So what that's caused by is my nail is getting too close to the center of the foot, and I'm causing a bruise right there, basically. And so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get my nails to be more fine, because he's got such thin hoof walls. A standard store-bought shoe, the nail is too coarse. It's too far to the inside, and so I'm getting too close to the sensitive stuff, which isn't good. And so I learned this at a clinic one time. What you do is you pop out a little piece of the metal in the nail hole, and you get that nail to go a hair fine. And I don't know, I must not be doing it right, because all I did really was just wallow out my nail holes, and I wasn't too impressed. So I got to try something else different next time. We'll see what I end up doing. So right here over at the grinder, I'm boxing it and then safing it so he doesn't cut himself. You see him making sure it's not sharp on my hand there. Okay guys, well, I'm finishing up Pinto Bean here. We wanted to ask you guys a question. We're going to step out of our comfort zone a little bit. We're wanting to do a giveaway, but we're having a hard time coming up with what exactly you guys would want in a giveaway. We've got some ideas, and we thought about some merchandise, some shirts with our names on them, and we don't know if we want to do like some horse type stuff, or I thought about doing like I could make some hoof picks and give those away. We actually thought about I could take a pair of Pinto Bean's old shoes if you guys would like to have one of his last pairs of shoes. We could do something like that. Anyway, we'd like you guys to leave a comment and let us know what you guys would be interested in to do a giveaway. It can be one of the ideas I just gave you, or something that you guys can think of and help us out, and we'll try to do that in the upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. Back to Pinto Bean, you can see I'm just kind of being chicken with the nails. I'm so afraid to get my nails into sensitive tissue that I got kind of low nails, but overall I'm super happy with the progress we're able to make. I think we're definitely heading in the right direction. I'm excited to see how they look in about 6 weeks when I come back. Remember, if you want to know Pinto Bean's whole story of why his foot looks like that, head over to the channel and hit the playlist tab. Stay good, be kind, and we'll catch you next time.